Apologies in advance for being really annoying and using euphemisms in this video, but I'm going to be discussing a subject that this platform does not particularly like us talking about. Now, I make no secret of the fact that I have a strong commitment to nonviolence. I not only believe, but I have looked at the evidence and understand that nonviolence is not only a moral and just position, it is a strategic one as well. People get real mad at me for having a commitment to nonviolent discipline. I have an awful lot of videos over on my YouTube where I discuss some of the core principles of nonviolence as well as what nonviolent direct action looks like. And I think too many people believe that nonviolence is the same thing as peaceful protest, which I've been trying to talk about a lot. Nonviolence is not peaceful. If nonviolent direct action is going to be successful, it must be highly disruptive. Likewise, I don't personally believe that destruction of property is violence. One of the criticisms that I tend to get when I discuss successful nonviolent revolutionary movements throughout history is that they often involve like burning shit down, smashing shit. And my personal belief is that destruction of property is not violence. And that opinion is shared by an awful lot of people around the world and an awful lot of cultures. But as they discuss in the book, This is an Uprising, it really doesn't actually matter that much what you personally think. It matters what the culture perceives as violence versus nonviolence. And so you can be like, I'm going to break this window and that's not violence because I'm not brutalizing somebody's body. I'm not depriving somebody of their rights. I'm not participating in systemic racism. Therefore, what I'm doing is not violent, right? Like, it doesn't matter if the public perception is that destruction of property is violence, then it's not going to be a strategic move. It's going to backfire on you. Because so much of successful defense against fascism is getting public opinion on your side and turning public opinion against the regime. And because the United States is a capitalistic hellscape, we've all been indoctrinated to believe that destruction of property equals violence. After all, it's what cops do. They defend property and they violate us. But you know what else we're indoctrinated to believe in the United States? That these are a core part of our identity and what keeps us safe. There are more pew-pews than there are human beings in the United States. You can't go anywhere in Oregon, especially rural Oregon, without seeing those Oregonian window stickers. People say, stay strapped, stay safe, mamas. Right. This culture is really, really big. And it's not really actually a right versus left. We know that there's far more energy, momentum, commitment to common sense firearms reform from the political left. But there's a huge section of the political left that is the like 2A left. And I frankly found it a little bit embarrassing how many of y'all have been blustering about like, oh, the minute they start this fashy shit, they're going to see what it's like to activate the 2A left. Like, okay. But it does actually bring up this whole question about whether or not exercising your Second Amendment rights are really important right now, and where that falls under the auspices of nonviolent discipline. Because I think the Second Amendment is really necessary and really important. I am somebody who is a supporter of the Second Amendment conceptually, not necessarily the way it's been interpreted by the courts, but whatever. Okay, so what we're seeing right now is just a full-on fucking freak out from MAGA and the Republicans because they're discovering that actually, wait a minute, maybe ICE's lawlessness and reign of terror is causing people on the political left to embrace their Second Amendment rights. The folks on the political right, they thought that they owned 2A, right? That's like a big part of their identity, like trucks and these. But surprise motherfucker, 2A is a core part of the identity of an awful lot of Americans across the political spectrum. And I've seen a lot of people talking the last several days, last several weeks, about the Black Panthers in particular.
Won't no ICE agent ever run up on me. I guarantee you they won't. I'll put a hole in their chest the size of a window. Safe line repair, safe line replace. That's what's going to happen. They touch me. Unarmed woman was killed by ICE. If you think you're about to come and brutalize the people while we're standing here, fuck around and find out. Our interactions with the police and ICE, and we hold them accountable. We patrol the community and we hold them accountable. The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, we're the same Panther Party from back in the day, but we're a little more aggressive now, you dig? Carry bigger guns and we don't take no shit. Places where there are a lot of immigrants at, I think that the community around them needs to take special care to them and needs to start escorting them to and from everywhere to make sure that they're safe. Because them ICE agents ain't going to act like that if it's a bunch of people standing outside with assault rifles and shotguns. It's a semi-automatic shotgun. That means them shotgun shells that shoot out of a pump, they shoot them rapidly. If you are going to legally arm yourself with something bigger than what they got. Those who serve in the public, they should be fearful of the public. They should be fearful that the public's going to be dissatisfied with their job that they're doing, not feeling like they're tyrants, not feeling like they're bullies because they got guns and body armor and walkie-talkies. That makes them immune to whatever the people would do. I think you want to correct the ideology of the pig and the mentality of the slave catcher. You meet them with equal force. All power to the motherfucking people. No power to the pig.
And people tend to bring the Black Panthers up to me as like a gotcha, as if they are somehow contradictory with my position on nonviolence. For example, I got crap for showing this image from Minneapolis the other day. Right, this post is the Daily Caller freaking out about the Second Amendment on display in public in Minnesota, probably because it's Black folks. Not crazy right-wing chuddies. Also, I will never skip an opportunity to remind folks that Caitlin Collins, anchor for CNN News, worked for the Daily Caller. She worked for Tucker Carlson. If you want to know how corporate legacy media is all connected, if you're trying to understand how these news corporations could swing so hard to the right after they sane-washed and platformed Donald Trump for a decade, remember Caitlin Collins was willing to interview Donald Trump while he was campaigning and softball the entire thing. Just remember, they've always all been connected. It's all been connected. But anyway, back to this photo. I think we're in a position again where people fundamentally misunderstand what nonviolence is. Just like nonviolence cannot be peaceful, it must be disruptive. Just like destruction of property is not technically violence. I think too many people believe that nonviolence is passive submission. That's obedience. That's laying down and rolling over for fascism. That's not nonviolence at all. Nonviolence is an overarching philosophy that has a specific set of tactics. But we must always remember that self-defense is not violence. And definitely engaging in a constitutionally protected display of your rights, where you are reminding people that self-defense is not violence, that likewise is not violence. I am not going to get up on Al Gore's internet and argue that people should engage in violent acts against the federal government. I'm not a dumbass. I wasn't born yesterday, but likewise, gentlemen like this one, I'm going to show you in just a second, are not engaged in violence at all.
I'm generally a pretty liberal person, but when I saw videos of ICE jumping out of unmarked vehicles and nabbing people off the street, that's when I actually bought my first AR-15. So I'm pretty new to this, but the Second Amendment's for all of us. And now I'm seeing videos of Black Panthers out in Minneapolis, chasing down ICE and other police and stuff. I think that's what it's all about. We're facing tyranny right now. And I want to be prepared for if that stuff comes to my neighborhood.
What have you sort of thought about it? I've seen the same videos you're talking about. I've seen some of the stuff in person that you're kind of talking about. I've seen some people on the right wing take issue when the left arms up.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, the amendments to the Constitution are for everybody. We're all American. We all have those rights, and we should all be using them. That's my opinion on it.
I think part of the problem we're experiencing in the United States is that we've let the government and the law enforcement here tell us all kinds of things are violence when they're not.
It seems like the one thing that the left and the right, no matter what view you come from, could agree upon is that this isn't the time to be taking away our guns, and this is the time that you should be holding on to your guns. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican. I mean, take a look at the times.
Yeah, I'm glad to see the uniformity on both sides and disagreement with what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I saw someone out here today said he identifies as a liberal, and the reason that he bought an AR-15 is because of what he sees going on in Minnesota,
right.
like because of ICE. What do you think of that?
I mean, a tyrannical government, whatever your take is on it, that's the point of these bad boys right here.
And likewise, they have tried to make nonviolence less than what it is, make it be peaceful and passive and useless. So what do you think? How would you define violence in this moment in the United States? Americans are incredibly diverse people. What does it look like for people who might not align entirely on philosophy and tactics to come together and work to free ourselves of the oppression of the tyrannical Trump regime? These are difficult and weighty conversations for us to be having, and I think that they're necessary conversations. Because we're not here to just flex on our Second Amendment rights, and we're not here to make unstrategic moves. We're here to win against tyranny. We're here to stop the government from abducting our neighbors, killing our neighbors, and trying to strip us of our constitutional rights. So what does it look like? What do you think of what folks are doing in Philly and California and Minnesota?